At Linemark, we recommend servicing your machine every 12 months to prevent stoppages caused by paint seizing up pipes, wear to parts in the motor, or a faulty battery. This service was done on a glider light machine, but the pump is the same on each of our spray machines. Starting with the battery, remove it from the machine and check it is fully charged by connecting it to a multimeter. A full battery should read between 12 and 13 volts. We recommend using a battery tester, as this will also show the overall health of the battery, keeping you aware of how well it will hold its charge. Next, if your probe is one with a ball bearing, take the probe and unscrew the end metal filter mesh. Press the ball bearing at the end of the probe, making sure it moves freely so as not to block the flow of paint. Wash with flush through or water if required. The next part of the filtration system to check is the inline black housing. Unscrew the cap, clean the mesh filter inside with water and make sure the black rubber O-ring seal is present. It is common for this part to become lost during disassembly, and without this, air will get in and stop the machine from spraying correctly. Replace this if there are any tears or holes. Reassemble and then retighten the filter cover. Finally, unscrew the bayonet cap on the spray head. Clean or replace the top hat filter and nozzle again, making sure the black rubber washer is in place when reassembling. The most important part of the service is changing the check valve inside the pump. This is done using a T25 torque screwdriver attachment for a cordless drill. First, disconnect the pump from the battery. Then, use a 13mm spanner to loosen the bolt which mounts the battery to the machine frame. Then you can use the release aid provided to help remove the plastic piping from the two connections to the pump. Due to the small parts inside the check valve, we recommend moving to an indoor location or workbench for disassembly of the pump. Using a T25 torque screwdriver bit attached to a cordless drill, remove the 3 inner long screws shown on screen. The pump and the check valve housing will now be separated. Next, using the same T25 attachment, remove the 3 outer, short screws that are remaining to allow access to the check valve itself. It is recommended to do this in 2 stages to prevent the loss of small parts. Once done, carefully separate the top and bottom parts of the check valve. Inside the top black cap, you can see some very small plastic poppets and 3 small coiled springs. Clean the poppets and remove the new springs from their packaging if required. Put the poppets facing up on top of the springs, then place them, pop it up, back in the cap. Repeat the process 2 more times to fill all 3 holes with springs and poppets. Now, pry off the old check valve from the other part of the housing and change it for a new check valve, pushing it into place. Next, take the section of the pump with the new check valve and lower it onto the other half, ensuring the springs and poppets are facing upwards. Keep one hand on the pump and reinsert the shorter screws into the inside holes to secure the 2 halves of the check valve housing in place. Once they're secure, replace the longer screws, holding the pump and check valve assembly together. Now, replace the pump onto the machine. Reinsert all the plastic pipes, making sure they're fully secured. Push and push again to make sure, and you'll feel the pipe engage. Then mount the pump back onto the machine using the retaining bolt and reconnect the battery. Be sure to replace the protective cover.